Okay, hi guys. Today's topic is on confidence, and this is something that is very close to my heart because I feel like every single girl, or boy actually, for that matter, in some stage of their lives, they have felt really insecure about themselves. And I know that for a fact because I've been through it, and I hope my personal experiences can help you. And I also know for a fact that everybody experiences this, so you don't have to feel like you're alone, or you feel, have a low self-esteem because you're like, oh my gosh, I must be the only one who goes through this, because that's not true. Everyone goes through it. Okay, so a little bit about what I went through. Growing up, I had a really tough childhood. I mean, that I can explain in another video because it would be way too long to explain now. But pretty much my parents were divorced and I wasn't that well off. But because of this, I got judged so badly and I got bullied and I got teased. I mean, people used to, I was with my mom and she made me lunch, and people, like my friends in quotation marks, they used to like take my lunch and just tip it out on the ground and tell me to eat it from there. And being so little, I was probably 6. Obviously, I did it because I was so hungry and that was my lunch. So it was very embarrassing. I'm not proud of it, but I did do it. That's bullying because obviously people found greater pleasure in other people's misfortunes, which is unfortunate, but there are people like that. And I also had to do a lot of things for other people, like be their slaves, carry their bags. This was when I was very little, obviously. And I used to think, why me? Like, why are you doing this to me? This is so unfair. And I was raised Christian, so I used to blame God a lot. I used to be like, like, why is this happening to me? This is unfair. I thought, God loved me. And it was really sad that I would blame someone else, but I did. I was little. And, what I did was, because I had no friends, my closest friend was actually my piano. So I used to play my piano like 24/7. I played it every day. A lot of sad songs actually. I didn't play that much happy songs. But you know what? In 4th grade, there was a piano competition in my primary school, and I entered it, and I managed to win first place, which was one of the biggest steps to my confidence gain, I should say. So a lot more people wanted to be my friends. I got, invites to like parties, and that's like really huge, for like 6-year-old me. And the difference was, all my friends who, well, friends in quotation marks again, they didn't want to be my friend because I was not the prettiest girl back then. I was like the ugliest duckling. I'm not saying I'm pretty now, I'm just saying back then I was really, really ugly. And it's true, if I find a photo, I'll show you guys. And I didn't have the best clothes. Like my mom used to cut my hair and it used to be like wonky and stuff, and I didn't have the newest clothes. I had hand-me-downs, which is other people's clothes, because obviously I told you my family wasn't that well off. So people used to pick on that fact, and all my friends they used to like live in like mansions, 3 stories and stuff, and here I am, in a rented house with my mom. So that was a huge knock on my confidence. And I realized that growing up, the confidence that they had, it was very shallow and it was very surface level. They gained their confidence from other people's misfortunes, and that to me is really sad. I think confidence is something that should be inbuilt, and it is really something beautiful that I think every girl, I'm hoping I'm speaking to like mostly girls here, that every girl should have. And it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, where you're from. Everyone should be confident in who they are and be really comfortable in their own skin. You can't be wanting the newest thing. You can't be wanting to be the smartest person, the prettiest girl. This is because there's always someone who will be better than you, and you're in a race that you will never win. Whereas if you're comfortable with who you are, you're happy, then that in itself is just such a self-esteem boost, and it's so, I guess, comforting to know that, you're comfortable in your own skin. There's that saying, be comfortable in your own skin. And you really have to be. This is because, in the future, or right now, I guess, if you want a boyfriend, a lot of your relationships won't work out. And I'm not saying this to put anyone off relationships, but it's true. And this is because you probably aren't ready. You aren't ready for a relationship because you haven't figured out who you are yet. And when you haven't figured out who you are, you can't love yourself. And this is something so simple, but if you don't love yourself, then how can other people love you? And so that's why relationships tend to fall through, because you have this expectation for your other half to meet, and they think you're like this person here, but you're actually here. And then you find another guy who thinks you're here, but you're not sure where. So I hope that made sense. But pretty much you need to know who you are and be really comfortable. So if you have like red hair, like own it, like work it. Like don't think, oh my gosh, like I wish I had blonde hair, I wish I was pretty, I wish I was this, I wish I was that. No, just, you know, be who you are. I mean, like Mika and I, like we when we had black hair, obviously there are photo shoots when we had our black hair. We were really happy with black hair. Like Mika's even gone back to black hair. But you know, we're like kind of vain. So, you know, we like to dye our hair blonde and all that kind of stuff, but that doesn't mean we weren't confident when we had black hair. So there's a difference. Just because people dye their hair doesn't mean they're not confident. Don't get me wrong. But you just got to be comfortable with what you have and what I guess God gave you. And another thing is, a lot of people put you down because that's how they bring themselves up. And I know that's really sad, but there are people like that, and it's just so disheartening to see. But you can't let it get to you. Like, you need to just feel sorry for them. You know, you need to pity them because they can't love who they are, whereas you can. So obviously they're jealous or whatever, you know. If people put you down for no reason, just laugh it off. Don't let it get to you, because you're worth more than that. And it's mind over matter. Like, you shouldn't mind and they don't matter. Sometimes, you know, you'll be questioning, when, like I did when I was little, like, why do these things happen to me? Why do I get bullied? This is so unfair. Why am I less fortunate? There's so many questions run through your mind. But you know what? Like, bad things do happen to people, and it happens quite often. It doesn't just happen to you, so you're not super special. But you need to be grateful. Like, it's important. You don't have to do it every day, but from time to time you need to be grateful for what you have. I mean, look around. Like, even no matter how unfortunate you are watching this video, which means you have internet. You know, you have access to internet. A lot of people don't. You know, you need to know that you have a laptop. You have, you know, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Or you have a cell phone, or you have a house. You have a roof, okay, over your head. And this has been brought up a lot, but you need to think about, you know, a third of the world like living in poverty, and you may think you're poor, not being able to afford the iPhone 5 when it comes out, but you need to know people can't afford their next meal, and that's really sad. And in some ways, you need to know that you shouldn't feel happy that there are people that are worse off than you, but you need to be grateful that you have what you have, because a lot of people would literally die for what you have right now. They work so hard and they just don't have it. So you need to be grateful, and you need to kind of be happy with what you have. And when you do that, there's this confidence that really does glow inside of you. And when you're confident and you know who you are, then people who are similar to you, who have similar likes, will see that. And that's how you find really good close friends, because you're confident, they're confident, you both have similar likes, and it just fits. And you start to find out who you are. And I know growing up, I did this especially. I was so young and I was a teen. I didn't know what to do with my life. I mean, there were kids doing drugs, there were kids partying, there were kids doing just so many different things, and I almost got led down the wrong track. And you know, it's important to find yourself and find what you stand for. If you stand for, you know, partying and stuff, then that's who you are. And you know, you choose to live life the way you are. When you get to a certain age, you're responsible for all your actions, and you just really need to, I guess, pay the price for it, because your parents can't do that anymore. You're old enough now. So you know what? Don't let people get to you. There are always people who will talk stuff behind your back, and it doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. You know, you are who you are, and be proud of who you are. And you know, at the end of the day, I mean, if you do read my blogs, like, even if 1 or 2 people hate you, you have like 100, 200 friends that love you. So it's like 200 versus 2. So why does it matter? Why do you care? You know, doesn't really matter. So, you know, smile, be happy with what you are. I'm running out of time. I would have said more, but thank you for watching this. And if you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I love you guys. Mwah.